Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm an event planner at the Orange County Library System. I plan author events and writing workshops, and I invited some of my writing friends to provide writing tips for you. This next one is from author Carrie Callaghan.
Hi, my name is Carrie Callaghan, and I'm a historical novelist, author of Salt the Snow and A Light of Her Own. And today I'm going to talk to you about how everyone, regardless of your writing genre, can use history as a narrative element in your novels. And in fact, I'll argue that really your characters have a history anyway, and so that narrative element exists. You just need to make use of it. So I'm going to talk about some different examples of how we've done that. If you've read The Raven Tower, you'll know, for example, that even though this is a fantasy novel, history is a really deep part of what's going on in the story. So because I have it on hand, the first example I'll give for really is just sort of straight use of history as a narrative element is in my second novel, Salt the Snow, which is about a real-life American journalist who went to Moscow in the 1930s. And because I based this book off of Millie Bennett's letters, I primarily used real historical points and real historical characters to craft into a story. Of course, there were still things I had to change, but just like point of view, just like time, setting, all of those things, history was one of the tools that I was manipulating. Now, there are different ways you can use history beyond just the straightforward. This is particularly the case in historical fiction, but you can see it in literary fiction and fantasy. Hilary Mantel's Wolf Hall gives a great example of using history in a slightly more manipulated way to tell a different story, perhaps a revisionist story. In this case, Mantel is talking about the reviled Thomas Cromwell, but she wants readers to have a different take on him. So she starts off the book with a line that says, "So now, get up." And from there, the very lowest point where young Thomas Cromwell has his face in the mud, he is rising to the heights of English power. And his face is in the mud because his father has just kicked him. Now, Mantel is fudging a little bit with the historical record here. Cromwell's father really wasn't the beast that she portrayed him in this book, but because she was making a point using history, she wanted to change that a little bit. Now, the changes are even more evident when we look at Colson Whitehead's amazing The Underground Railroad. In this novel, there's an actual underground railroad that is ferrying escaped slaves from slavery into, hopefully, freedom in the North. And so his characters go down into tunnels and climb onto various types of trains. Obviously, that's a fiction, but he used that as a metaphor to show what Black Americans had built and how they were themselves the agents of their own freedom. There's another scene where he shows, in really chilling fashion, a North Carolina town that every weekend has a party that is punctuated by a lynching. That also, not historically accurate, but it is reflecting some laws and certainly some practices that were evident in North Carolina at the time. So he took history and he changed it to make really important points about racism in America today. I hope that gives you something to think about, how you can use history. Your characters have history, your stories have history, and don't be afraid to think about how they interact with history to build a stronger story. Have fun.
Thank you for watching. To learn more about writing workshops and see more videos, visit ocls.info/writers corner. Orange County Library System is your place to learn, grow, connect.